Think about how ridiculous what he was saying was. Shouldn't the Republicans have stopped him from being able to run? How anti-democratic is that? It's not up to the Republican Party to stop Trump from running. It's up to the people to not vote for him if that's not who they want. And the people spoke loud and clearly. They wanted Trump, and here he is. And these people cannot take it. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And obviously, as you all know, today is January 6th, which marks the 4-year anniversary of J6. Now, what's funny about all that is, as far as the DNC mainstream media press is concerned, they are desperately trying to make this a big deal. Something that clearly the country does not care about. They tried to make it a big deal during the election and the lead up to the election. It had no effect on it. Everyone wants to move on and move past it. Nobody wants to hear about this anymore. But these folks are going to keep talking about this as if it was one of the worst tragedies in American history. And what we're getting ready to see, listen to, and watch here is Sunny from The View. Well, be sunny, right? So let's get into this foolishness right now as we get things rolling.
I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history.
That is so ridiculous. She's not done yet, but that is so just stupid. January 6th is not one of the worst moments in American history at all whatsoever. I don't remember who it was, but one of these DNC lunatics, they compared at one point January 6th to 9/11, which is crazy. But let's let Sunny continue to be Sunny and listen to this madness that's getting ready to come out of her mouth.
And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
I want to ask you.
So January 6th is on the same level as the Holocaust and chattel slavery. The Holocaust didn't happen in America, but okay, I guess if you just go back and rewatch that, I don't feel like playing it again. But she was struggling to come up with examples because she knows that what she's saying is BS. She knows that she's talking nonsense. That's why she had that little MK Ultra glitch for a moment where she just couldn't actually think of what to say when it was time to make a comparison because you're talking foolishness. Look at this clip here. This was recently released by Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, right? And just look at this clip I'm going to play you here. One of the clips from January 6th, where you're literally going to see the police clear a pathway for these dangerous, insurrectionists, right? To walk through the Capitol building, not for them to exit out, but essentially it looks like a guided tour that's going on. And this is the insurrection that's on the level, apparently, of chattel slavery and the Holocaust. Let's get into this right here.
All of the footage from January 6th has finally been released, and this new video shows Capitol Police clearing a pathway so people can walk through the halls of the House wing. And if you thought they were clearing a path so people could exit the building, well, that's just not the case. As you'll see in a moment, a large crowd enters the halls of the House wing, Capitol Police standing idle. They go through, and then a large portion of them turns around and goes back the other way. Capitol Police did absolutely nothing in this portion of the video to deter them. All the footage was released after House Speaker Mike Johnson kept his promise to the American people. In a statement on his official X page, formerly known as Twitter, Speaker Johnson stated the following: "Today, I am keeping my promise to the American people and making all the January 6th tapes available to all Americans. Now, I will be combing through every second of the new footage over the next few days, and I'll be posting all the important highlights, so if you want to stay updated, be sure to hit the follow button. I also posted a link on X so you can check out the footage for yourself under the same username if you feel like digging through hours of footage. Let me know what you think about this new footage that's been released in the comments and why you think it took so long for it to be released."
This literally looks like a guided tour. It looks like a high school field trip to the Capitol building. That's exactly what this looks like. But once again, if you let those in the DNC mainstream media tell it, this was some sort of deranged, crazy insurrection, which it was not an insurrection. Nobody was brought up on charges, let alone found guilty of an insurrection. And those charges do exist. And that didn't happen. No one was brought up on those charges. But what I want to do next is I want to pivot in closing to CNN, because we have this CNN anchor who was just on the brink of completely losing his mind over the fact that Trump will be president despite the insurrection happening. And apparently Trump should apologize, which we all know that he's not going to. But just take a moment to listen to this here, because it just goes to show how salty these folks in the DNC are with the fact that in what, just a couple of days, I think not even 2 weeks from now, Trump will officially be the president of the United States.
Brad, is it time for Donald Trump to apologize for what took place 4 years ago?
I wouldn't expect Donald Trump would apologize. I think nor do I expect Democrats to apologize for trying to undo his presidency by all legal and extra legal means after that.
Come on, Brad. Come on.
No, Jim, look at our own polling. Look at CNN's own exit polling. Voters who said they voted on democracy were evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. January 6th was a dark day in the history of our country. Donald Trump bears a lot of responsibility for that. It's something that should stain his legacy forever. However, voters, they punished him for it. That's why he was behind Ron DeSantis by 20 points until Alvin Bragg indicted him. And once voters decided that Democrats were determined to prevent Donald Trump from being elected by any extra legal means, they decided maybe this wasn't as clear.
I mean, shouldn't your party have just rejected him, just flat out rejected him, from Kevin McCarthy to Mitch McConnell to the whole lot of them? How could your party let him be the nominee again? Watch
what Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell said in the aftermath of that. They absolutely did condemn him. Mitch McConnell was still condemning him months afterward on the floor. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi decided to use January 6th for partisan gain, though. She appointed, she refused to let Kevin McCarthy appoint Republicans to the committee. She didn't let Republicans hire staff to the January 6th Oversight Committee. They didn't allow cross-examination.
The January 6th committee had the Republican of all Republicans, Liz Cheney, on
Liz Cheney she was not
booted out of your party. I mean,
she wasn't appointed by her conference like
Dick
every
Cheney's
other
daughter.
committee. She wasn't appointed by the Republican conference.
Good Republican.
Think about how ridiculous what he was saying was. Shouldn't the Republicans have stopped him from being able to run? How anti-democratic is that? It's not up to the Republican Party to stop Trump from running. It's up to the people to not vote for him if that's not who they want. And the people spoke loud and clearly. They wanted Trump, and here he is. And these people cannot take it. Once again, as I've stated a million times on this channel, the people who preach the most about wanting to save democracy and how democracy is on the ballot, these are the people who are the most anti-democratic. What they wanted the Republican Party to do to Donald Trump is essentially what the Democrats did to Joe Biden, which was a silent internal coup, where you just remove him because we don't want you anymore, but ended up replacing him with somebody significantly worse in Kamala Harris. And we all see how that turned out. And thank goodness for that, because January 20th, Harris and Biden will be gone forever. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and make sure you follow me on Telegram and Rumble at TD Media Group. Both the links to my Telegram and Rumble account will be in the description box below. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace, and have a great afternoon.